We welcome you to the Windy City, where the Houston Astros continue their 7-game road trip as they play the Chicago White Sox over the weekend. Just a 3 out of 4 against the Seattle Mariners, and tonight Justin Verlander takes the mound at Guaranteed Rate Field. A familiar foe, Verlander spending most of his career with the Tigers, so he has seen the Chicago White Sox a bunch in his career. Chicago coming in at 4-11, and the Astros at 13-7. Hi everybody, welcome. Todd Callis alongside Jeff Blum. Glad you could join us for another night of Astros baseball. Blummer, it was good to see them get off, even though they lost that first game, get off to a good start on this road trip.
Yeah, we saw some good things on that road trip, finishing off 3 out of 4 against the Seattle Mariners, pitching phenomenal as it has been for a while now.
And now our Shiner Box Spotlight will shine on the offense of the Houston Astros, which has really been strong the last couple of days.
It's been great the last couple games. What I like is the 10 extra base hits in the last 2 games, 16 in the previous 12 ball games. So these guys are starting to see the ball a little bit better, and they're putting good swings on it. Another thing is they're getting these hits with guys on base. They continue to get base on balls, creating traffic out there, putting pressure on these rotations. They're also doing a great job of knocking starters out, and getting into that bullpen for the Seattle Mariners was a good thing for them. So I look for them to continue to try and go out there, pound away, and get the pitch counts up on the starters so that they can get to the relievers and continue to put good swings on it. These guys are doing a great job right now in seeing and striking the baseball.
So they'll try and continue that tonight against the Chicago White Sox and 36-year-old right-hander James Shields. He'll be opposed by Justin Verlander. We'll have more with Julia Morales and Preston Wilson in just a little while.
In there as well, and they all want to see Justin Verlander take the mound tonight against the White Sox. The ace of this starting staff. The staff has been so good, and it all starts with Verlander, who sets the tone, and he really has done that since he put on an Astros uniform last September. He even told us he's off to one of the better starts of a season of his career. That's saying a lot. He just was awarded the AL Player of the Week for last week. 2-0, 135 ERA, coming off a great performance that would end up in a no decision, but against the Texas Rangers, the strikeouts are way up for him. Feeling really good, but still coming up with things to work on as well. He'll be going up against the White Sox. And in this White Sox series, it'll be fun to watch between these two teams as we bring you back out. I've got a visitor with me, Preston Wilson. We just did Astros pregame. He'll be joining me again on postgame, but I do want to get your thoughts on Verlander and what you've seen so far this season. He has just been dominant so far.
Well, I think the Astros and Justin Verlander are an unbelievable match. He thrives on information. He loves getting all of that input, how to face batters, what their weaknesses are, what their spray chart says, and then he goes out and uses his abilities to counteract any of their strong suits. He likes to attack guys that don't have good bat speed with the fastball. He'll go in and on their hands. The guys that don't handle off speed, he's going to challenge them with that. And he has good enough command to work up, down, and out in every phase of the strike zone. So he understands what he wants to do, and now that he has the information from the Houston Astros to back up what he wants to do, he's just exploiting every weakness that the opposing batter has.
Yeah, he's a perfectionist, but he's also just willing to learn and really willing to open up to what they have to bring to him as well. And you saw the numbers for his first 14 starts there were pretty impressive. That included some postseason starts as well. But first 14 starts with any team, look at this. His ERA, 152. Steve Rogers is the only guy ahead of him with the 131.
Well, I know he just got married over this offseason, but this is another match made in heaven for Justin Verlander because, like I said, he loves the information. He thrives on having something to push him and drive him. He thrived on the fact of trying to help this team win a championship. He's thriving on the fact now to execute even better. Even though he's had that great couple weeks, won the NL Player of the Week this past week, he's looking for something else to improve upon.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Preston. We'll see you for Astros postgame. Don't go anywhere. First pitch is coming up from right here at Guaranteed Rate Field. Todd Callis and Jeff Bluff will join you after the break.
Right-hander James Shields, George Springer in the DH role this evening. He will be leading off, followed by Jose Altuve. Carlos Correa plays shortstop and hits in the 3 spot. Josh Reddick, the only lefty in that string of righties, hits cleanup. Yuli Gurriel bats in the number 5 spot, plays first base. Alex Bregman at third base, hitting 6. Brian McCann behind the plate. Marwin Gonzalez is in left field tonight, and Derek Fisher gets his first start of the year in center field. He will bat 9th.
On the mound for the Chicago White Sox, James Shields, veteran, Broke into the league 2006, four games this season. Only 3 of them have been starts. What's interesting about that is last time out, he pitched out of relief in Oakland, took the loss in Oakland in that 14-15 inning game that they had. Percentage of pitches in the strike zone is 41%, lowest in Major League Baseball. So again, expect the Astros to be patient, get a pitch they can drive, and continue the success they built on in Seattle. A little bit different conditions here, though, as far as weather's concerned.
Yeah, it's always been cold this whole month of April in Chicago. It's one of their warmer days, but Astros aren't real comfortable. Julian and Preston look pretty cold down there in front of the dugout. And we're underway with Shields missing to Springer on the first pitch of the night. Good start to the road trip for the Astros. They have won 3 in a row. Their offense came alive in those last couple of games. George Springer on the ground towards short. Tim Anderson is there. And the White Sox shortstop makes the play for out number 1. White Sox defense looks this way, presented by Xfinity. In the outfield from left to right, Nicky Delmonico. Adam Engel can go get it in center. And Aviseo Garcia in right field. Yomar Sanchez, you already saw Anderson, left side of the infield. Yohan Moncada and Jose Abreu right side. And Omar Narvaez is calling pitches for James Shields tonight. Very young White Sox team. Almost everybody in that field is in their early to mid-20s. With the exception of Jose Abreu, who's 31 years old. Here is Jose Altuve taking a pitch from Shields for ball 1. Altuve coming in with 27 hits. That is just 1 behind Jed Lowry for the most in the majors. Called strike. Shields throws that cutter a little less than he did last year. He's been more fastball curveball this season. And that change, which used to be his bread and butter, is almost all but gone away. Tough chance for Yohan Moncada. Altuve is out. Moncada had to adjust on that ground ball.
Almost looked like he overran it. Got a little bit of the mound, but an out nonetheless. Pretty good play to stay with it. Kind of jumped off the mound and came back to him a little bit. Maintained the focus.
That'll bring up Carlos Correa. Coming in batting .299. Had a good series in Seattle, 6 for 14 with a couple of RBIs. Carlos leads the team in RBIs with 14. Second on the team in runs scored with a dozen. 51 degrees game time temperature. Very similar to the game time temperature in Seattle last couple of days. Astros between Minnesota, Seattle, and now in Chicago haven't had many warm road games this year.
Uncle.
With you.
You're a gamer tonight. Windows are open.
We don't have a choice, I don't think. We've got a lot of equipment that needs to be part of our telecast that's in our booth. So we've got partial windows open.
Yeah.
Not fully.
Not full exposure to the elements.
Players are going to be wearing hoodies tonight on April 20th as Correa swings and misses. It's 1-2. Saw a stat last year. They had one game that had game time temperature in the 30s. And this year already 27 around Major League Baseball. That one slips out of Shields' hand, and it's 2-2. Part of the reason Shields hasn't thrown a lot of changeups, he's been pitching in cold weather, hasn't had a feel for it. That pitch slipped out of his hand. AJ says it always feels colder here in Chicago than whatever the temperature is.
I am in complete agreement with that statement.
2-2 pitch is fouled and heading out of play. Abreu gives it a look.
This place is always going to give Carlos Correa some fond memories. Made his big league debut here in Chicago. Base hit the first night, home run the next night.
Not a bad guy to have his first major league hit against. Chris Sale.
Yeah.
36-year-old veteran James Shields with a 2-2 count. And he tries to catch the corner. It just misses, says Laz Diaz. And the count runs full.
James has also adjusted that release point too, kind of going down a little more three-quarter angle, traditionally more over the top. with that fastball, changeup, curveball, but now getting a little more creative, the velocity dropping down.
There's a called strike. Correa goes down looking at a 91-mile-an-hour fastball. A couple of ground ball outs and a strikeout as A.J. Hinch and our crew enjoyed a little Giordano's pizza today.
JV on the mound, some good numbers in those 4 starts this season, getting off to a great start. One of the best in his career with that 1.35 ERA. The strikeouts per 9 for these starters for the Houston Astros are massive. Justin Verlander almost at 11.5. The opponent batting average at 161. And when you're going well and the fastball's working with the curveball for Justin Verlander, the soft contact percentage drops.
Starting lineup against Verlander tonight. 21-year-old Yoan Moncada hit a grand slam in their last game. He leads things off at second base. Avisail Garcia plays right field. Jose Abreu, good numbers against Verlander. Nicky Delmonico cleanup. Wellington Castillo DHing. Yolmer Sanchez, Tim Anderson, Omar Narvaez, and Adam Engel round out your lineup for Rick Renteria. Verlander's first pitch misses. He has seen these White Sox plenty of times over his career as a member of the Tigers. His first appearance with the Astros against Chicago. And a foul at the plate. It's 1-1. The good news, Verlander with that ERA is in the top 5 in the American League. But he's only 3rd on his own team.
He's getting out-dueled.
He is. It's been the 4-5 show of Garrett Cole and Charlie Morton. Morton leading the American League and Cole in second. 1-1 pitch misses to Moncada. It's 2-1. White Sox had the day off yesterday after traveling from Oakland and playing a 14-inning game on Wednesday afternoon. They have also dealt with all kinds of weather issues, which is why they have played 5 fewer games than the Astros before tonight. There's a firm fastball at 94 that Laz Diaz calls a strike.
Should have been strike 3 according to our MD Anderson strike zone. JV's not going to complain. He's going to continue to attack. Fastball's up in the zone in those first 2 pitches. Only one of them was swung and missed at.
Swing and a miss, 95. Just right down the middle. Challenged him with the fastball, and Moncada missed it for the first strikeout for Verlander.
He's got a good one. Our Best in Texas Power Pitch is presented by Ford. Talking about that fastball. Justin Verlander continues to get above 94 miles an hour. The Chicago White Sox are 28th in Major League Baseball against that, hitting 235. But he's going to continue to ride that heat up in the zone. And if he doesn't get the swing and miss, it allows him to set up that nasty breaking ball he has also.
Now he'll face Avisail Garcia. 26-year-old outfielder swings and misses at 94 again. Been 94 and 95 consistently this first inning. Verlander faces the White Sox for the 43rd time. That's a lot. 2 runs allowed seems to be the trend for him lately.
Consistency.
Yeah. Every one of his last 7 starts against the White Sox, he's allowed exactly 2 runs. Gurriel makes the call, and a basket catch. Popped in and out of his glove, and he re-caught it. And he's hearing it from his benches. That wasn't the cleanest play, but it worked out well for Yuli.
Yeah, they're probably saying nice play, but ugly. And ugly works. Match from Supermo is going to show you that he went with the Willie Mays Hayes basket catch. Snow-coned it a little bit. But outs are outs. And on these cold days, sometimes that glove can get a little bit firm.
One of the colder days Yuli's played in. He missed that Minnesota series.
A lot of us felt that it was on purpose. Smart move.
You know, it seems like we've been away from Minnesota for a while. We had a homestand, even though it was a quick one against the Rangers. We then went to Seattle, and here we are in Chicago. The White Sox came in after the Astros, the day after we were in Minneapolis, and the White Sox have played 4 games since then. They played that first game Thursday against the Twins at Target Field. Friday, Saturday, Sunday postponed. And then they played 3 games against the A's, and they had a day off yesterday.
It has not been kind to some of these home teams up by the lakes.
So the Astros, a lot more baseball in the last week plus than the White Sox. Jose Abreu at the plate, and this is a guy that Justin Verlander has had trouble with throughout his career. 5 home runs in 40 at-bats against JV. Only 2 hitters in Verlander's career have more home runs, and they had a lot more at-bats. Carlos Santana with 8, and the Hall of Famer Jim Tomei with 7. Good pitch there, gets Abreu swinging. It's 1-2. Julia mentioned just a moment ago, Verlander usually not a quick starter. April has not been kind to Justin over his career. And he is really pleased with the way things have gone the first 4 times through. Inside to Abreu, it's 2-2.
Not a bad idea, 1-2. Stand him up a little bit. He's showing some good sliders. Some of the scouting reports will even call that a cutter sometimes because he'll throw it between 86 and 91 miles an hour.
Throws it very hard. After standing him up, where does McCann go with this one? He's going to go right back inside, and he freezes him. Diaz looked like he flinched, but he doesn't call the strike.
Got to go with your instincts, Laz.
Close.
Or was it? MD Anderson says, just from that angle that we have, it caught a lot of the plate. And that is a perfect pitch.
If you're Justin, you're like, I'm having enough trouble getting this guy out. Give me that pitch.
yeah, Laz Diaz isn't paying attention to the career numbers, or else he would have called him out on that. Laz is one of the more fair umpires, I feel. He's easy to talk to. You can always have a conversation with him.
Yeah, it's rare if you don't have a conversation with him.
Yeah, true.
He's one of the more gregarious umpires you will find.
Especially down at third base. You got plenty of time to chat.
3-2 pitches hit hard to center field. Fisher was over towards right center and has to run a long way to make the catch, but flags it down. Well hit by Abreu, and he's out number 3.
He put that gun on display out in Seattle at Safeco Field, gunning down Ben Gamble at home plate, helping out Garrett Cole, keep those runners off the board. That's only one dimension of Josh Reddick. There's actually several more, and we showed some of that pop from Seattle, going left on left, deep to right fields, hanging in on that slider off Wade LeBlanc. Something else that we didn't have time to show you in that highlight that I think that's been most impressive about Josh this season is his base running. He's added that third element by adding a 90 feet when he goes first to third quite a few times.
Yeah, very aggressive, gets good secondary leads, just does everything the right way. He's one of those guys that no matter where you put him, he's going to make the right play, it seems.
He's going to play hard, he's going to play smart.
And the more you watch him, the more you appreciate him, I think. When you watch him as a visitor, 18, 19 times, you don't really like the guy that much.
No, and I was definitely that guy. The first couple years I was broadcasting, we go through Oakland, he was right in the middle of it making plays. But yeah, you're right. Now that you get to see him on a daily basis, you really appreciate his work ethic and his fundamentals.
He could hit a routine ground ball right here, and he will still run like it's a play he needs to beat out on a chopper. He will run hard every time he hits the ball on the ground. 2-2 the count. And it sounds like that's what everybody should do, but it doesn't really happen that way.
It's true.
Reddick on the ground, and there he is, head down, busting it, and he is going to be safe because of that. Moncada took his time. Maybe he doesn't know the scouting report that we know.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you're playing shallow right field, you need to come up with a little more urgency and make the play.
That's why you run hard on a routine ground ball we were just talking about.
Or he doesn't know the the reputation that Josh Reddick has. Yeah, that was a little lackadaisical leading to that base hit. Good for Josh Reddick, hustling out, earning that base hit. He is definitely a max effort guy.
That is not a ball off the bat that you're thinking base hit by any stretch. And Moncada just took his time and turned it into a hit. First hit for either side. And here's Yuli Gurriel. Inside to Yuli, 1-0.
Last push at the end, reaching out to get that front part of the bag. That's also a good thing too, fundamentally, when you're running through that bag, is to hit the front portion of it.
Looked like on both sides of that play, both Moncada taking his time and Abreu really didn't stretch out to catch that ball. Kind of caught it near his body. And Reddick hustling the whole way, beat it out. Yuli last year had a good season against the White Sox, hitting a smooth .500. Early on this season, he has hit into some tough luck. Starts the night batting .250. Popped in the air. Moncada drifts back. And he'll call off his outfielders and make the play for out number one. Yuli pops up for the first out of the inning. Alex Bregman, the batter. Alex coming in batting .216. Astros trying to exact a measure of revenge against the White Sox. They came in here last year feeling good about themselves, on their way to 101 wins, first place by a large margin in the AL West. And White Sox took all three from them. Pitch to Bregman, misses for a ball. It's 1-0. Plummer mentioned James Shields pitching in that game on Wednesday. He was the last pitcher in that 14th inning, but didn't throw that many pitches and said he was fine to go. But he actually, because of all those snowouts in Minnesota, he actually pitched 2 different bullpen sessions before he got into that game as a reliever. So he has thrown 3 times since his last start against the Tampa Bay Rays on April 11th, his former team. Not your typical in-between start work.
There were desperate times in that bullpen in that Oakland series.
They used everybody and didn't have anybody left. Shields says he was walking around the clubhouse. They asked him if he could throw. He's like, sure.
Careful what you say in there.
And then he said an inning later, I was in the game. They had used up everybody in the bullpen, and Shields, despite starting today, ended up being the pitcher of record. He took the loss in that 14-inning, 12-11 loss in Oakland. Two and one the count to Bregman. Misses on the corner. It's 3-1.
Good time to hit. A good time for an extra base hit. Find some of that gap out there. Get Josh on his horse.
See, the percentage of pitches in the strike zone for Shields has not been good this year. He has been dancing around the plate and has thrown the lowest percentage of strikes. 3-1, misses again, and Bregman draws a walk. Shields walks off the mound a little frustrated. First and second, one out.
As you enjoy a cold one, look forward to Miller Lite. Hold true moment later in tonight's game. He's probably looking away in disgust after walking Alex Bregman because this guy coming to the plate. Brian McCann has been swinging a pretty good bat.
.351 average, .486 slug, .467 on base. That's pretty good. It's quite a start to a season for a guy who couldn't buy a hit for the month of March.
Kind of makes you want to look back and wonder if the wily veteran couldn't buy one or just didn't want to give away one.
Just
saving them up.
My swing's really messed up. Just throw it down the middle against me.
Set up everybody.
Yeah, he said the other night he feels really good because he's not only able to turn on that inside pitch, but he was able to get a couple of hits on that outside pitch. Shields tries to go outside and he misses. It's 2-0.
It's amazing what going the other way will just change that mindset and change that confidence a little bit, because all of a sudden you feel and see yourself getting a couple of hits, and then all of a sudden you see something hanging that you can turn on, throw the barrel at it like he's done recently. It's a good place to be.
I don't know if Shields is frustrated with himself or with Laz Diaz because he is not a happy camper right now.
And the zone we've seen between Verlander and Shields, yeah, it's kind of leaning a little bit towards that hitter right now.
2-0 the count after an infield single and a walk in this inning. And he calls a strike there on a pitch that wasn't even received well by Narvaez.
Narvaez did a great job of knocking down that strike. Keep it in front.
That's not a strike. Especially when
you
box it.
It's not even the pitch he called.
Come on, Laz. Guess that stare down by Shields worked. 2-1 the count.
Got a 50-50 shot back there.
That's way outside, and I think Shields is frustrated with himself on that pitch because that was not where he wanted. It's 3-1.
Well, you feel like sometimes these pitchers, they try and make the pitch they want to make. They make it, don't get the call, then they try to be more fine. And that's when things start to spiral out of control a little bit, and then you end up leaving something hanging up out over the plate like we'd like to see right here.
Three and two.
A cutter. 87 miles an hour.
Pretty good depth on that one. We'll see if AJ sends the runners here. One out. McCann with a full count. Reddick and Bregman on the bases. They are off, and McCann pops one high in the air. It's playable. The runners are going to have to retreat. It may drift foul now, and it does. Just beyond the Astros dugout.
It's a pretty good 3-2 changeup for a guy who doesn't have a feel for it. He had a good one right there, but that's really been a really good pitch for James Shields over the years with the fastball changeup.
First 10 years of his career, that was his strikeout pitch. Now he's using that curveball more as a strikeout pitch. But that was really what propelled him to the star status that he attained with Tampa Bay and Kansas City.
Big game James.
Well, you imagine they'll be off again, and Shields and Narvaez having trouble getting together on the sign.
Well, it was 3-1 cutter, 3-2 changeup. So James Shields obviously has something in his mind that he wants to go to. He's just trying to get Narvaez on the same page, but the patented 3-2 step out by Brian McCann will make him start over. Doing a good job of clustering those pitches down in the zone.
Outside, ball 4, and the Astros have loaded the bases on an infield hit and a couple of walks. You know, the other thing with Shields, and he's 36 years old, is the fastball not quite where it used to be. So he's trying to be a little more fine than he used to be.
Yeah.
And he's trying to hit edges, and it just, you saw the strike percentage this year just has not been good. Now with the bases filled, he faces Marwin Gonzalez. Marwin batting .190 on the year. His one home run is as a left-handed hitter. There's a strike.
That was a perfectly placed fastball, and they're not pitching to the 190 Marwin Gonzalez. They're pitching to the Marwin Gonzalez that had 90 RBIs last season. And how about A.J. Hinch setting up this lineup to have his 90 RBI guy up with the bases juiced?
Brilliant.
Good managing.
Brilliant managing. That's why he was Baseball America's Manager of the Year.
Yes.
Popped up. Shallow center. Deep shortstop. Anderson being called off by Engel. No chance to score the run, even though Reddick bluffed. And a big out for the White Sox and James Shields, 2 away. So now it'll be up to Derek Fisher. Not only could Fisher use a hit, the Astros could really use a hit out of the number 9 spot in their order. That 9 spot is in the midst of an 0 for 32 right now. Fisher is 0 for 14 himself. So see if this can get turned around right here and give the Astros an early lead. Down low, scoots away, but not far enough for Reddick to advance, and Reddick holds himself up at third base. 1-0. Reddick on third, Bregman on second, McCann on first. It has not been a picture-perfect inning in terms of a lot of hard-hit baseballs. It was a routine ground ball that Reddick hustled into a hit and a couple of walks.
Just a standard wear-down procedure and approaches from the Houston Astro hitters.
Shields has missed with more pitches, 18, than he has thrown strikes, 17. There's a strike, and it's fouled away. It's 1-1.
There's got to be a little bit of a closer look at James Shields in this game, just considering that he pitched a couple days ago out of relief. Granted, it was only 28 pitches, but you still got to get loose and get in that ball game, and you're pitching at game speed. And a quick turnaround here a couple days later to be on the bump for the White Sox. So they'll be keeping a close eye on him.
1-2 the count. One, two, three, first for Shields. He's been working with runners on this entire second inning. Low, 2-2. Throws that changeup a lot more to lefties than he does to righties. Even though he hasn't thrown it much this year. That was a pitch he often used to strike out lefties with 2 strikes.
It's always had good depth on it, good arm action. Fades away from that left-handed hitter.
As Diaz is trying to get these guys to get together on the signals.
Laz might start giving them.
Called third strike. Astros leave the bases loaded, and we head to the bottom half of the second inning, still scoreless. taking on James Shields tonight. You see the logos on your screen. That's the matchup for this series, Astros versus White Sox. We don't necessarily need the logos on the screen because we have them
right here.
There they are. How about that?
That is going to drive people back in Houston nuts.
12 years apart.
12 years apart, yeah. 2005.
2005.
On the pinky, and then 2017 right here.
Nice.
Yeah, I tweeted out a picture earlier, and the fans were great about it. They gave me a good ribbing on it. But yeah, it's kind of cool. The White Sox one obviously means a lot to me because I participated in that World Series. And then, the Houston Astro one means a lot to me too, just because it's an organization that I spent most of my career with, and somebody that I truly, there we go. It was a team I went out there and tried to go out and win a championship with, but was unable to. And they got their opportunity in 2017. So I just greatly appreciate the fan base back in Houston to be able to put up with me and some of my antics. It's been a fun ride. There's going to be plenty more.
That's cool, Blummer. It's cool that you brought that on the trip as well. Alex Bregman looking for help. Brian McCann way out from home plate. And BMAC ends up making the play in fair territory at a shallow third base position.
I'll tell you what, if BMAC was playing catcher for the San Diego Padres, Alex Bregman wouldn't have had a walk-off hit because he's showing some range right here. And it's also an understanding of a veteran catcher with the shift on, a fly ball that way. He knows that Bregman's got to come a long way, but he went well out there and got that pop out.
That was a much tougher play than he made it look.
Yes, it was.
And a good way for Verlander to start the second inning, getting Nicky Delmonico to pop up. Here's Wellington Castillo. Astros shift Castillo, the DH, with 3 on the left side of the infield as he takes a strike. The size of the rings, as the Cubs ended up setting the mark a couple of years ago, has increased since you won it as a player, as you can see in your picture and then when we showed the live shot.
Oh, man. Yeah, there is a huge discrepancy in the size of those rings. The White Sox ring was actually 98 diamonds. The Houston Astros had 112 diamonds in theirs. The unique thing about Jerry Reinsdorf and what they did here in Chicago was that they gave the wives a matching pendant, and they also gave the 25-man roster a custom watch. So that was a nice little added bonus. But as far as rings are concerned, yeah, you could say the Houston Astros nailed it. They set the bar extremely high with their ring.
The story the ring tells is very cool too. Everything has meaning.
No, I think they did a fantastic job of bringing that into it.
1-2 the count. Verlander facing Wellington Castillo. Justin has retired the first 4 batters he faced. A couple of groundouts, a couple of pop-ups, a line out and a strikeout. Now he has 2 strikeouts as Castillo goes down looking, and a pitch on the outside corner, 2 away in the second.
Baseball on Tap, presented by Budweiser, is going to be April 27th. With that ticket, you're going to be able to get you a couple of beer tastings. Some good seats out there in center field on that Budweiser deck. Go to Astros.com/baseball on tap. Presented by Budweiser.
Always a good time. 1 week from today. Friday night, good way to start your weekend next weekend. Astros are back in town earlier in the week. They'll be here till Sunday, and then the Angels come into town to Houston on Monday. Yolmer Sanchez, the batter, down on the count 0-1. As opposed to Abreu, who has really good numbers against Justin.
Trying to check out the 2-seam run on that Mattress Firm Supermo. Again, as a hitter, you kind of give up on it, but that ball ran back nicely.
This is the part of the order where Verlander's had success. Sanchez and Anderson, the next hitter, are combined 2 for 25 in their career against Verlander. On the ground, right back to Justin. Bobbled momentarily, but he recovers, and that'll do it for the White Sox. Strong 1-2-3 inning. Verlander's off to a good start with 2 perfect. Justin Verlander, the 35-year-old veteran, facing the 36-year-old James Shields. Back-to-back starts where Verlander's the youngster in the pitching matchup. Last time he was 9 years younger than his opponent, Bartolo Colon. Today just 1 year younger than Shields. Shields since 2007, second in baseball in number of starts, pitches thrown, innings pitched. He's been a workhorse. 33, not only the number he wears on the field, but that's also the number of starts he makes every year as he faces George Springer. Springer takes a called strike. It's 1-1. George grounded out his first time up. Shields and Verlander have matched up 5 previous times. Shields with different teams, Kansas City and Tampa Bay, and Verlander with just the Tigers. And so far the teams on the Shield side are 4-1 against the teams on the Verlander side. Springer gets into one deep to center field, angle all the way back, and he lines it up right in front of the wall. George hit that one about 400 feet, but it's a long out.
Normally those end up in home runs off James Shields. Becomes susceptible to the home run. And that was an elevated fastball. Actually a great swing by George Springer. 107.1 miles an hour off the bat. 30-degree launch angle. 94% hit probability. Love cold evenings in Chicago. That was supposed to be a four-seam fastball down and away. Hit pretty well.
That seems like it's going to be a home run more often than not.
Yes.
With those numbers you gave me.
Well, when it turns out to be a, what did I say, 97? 96. And actually got faster off the barrel.
So that's going to be, we'll have to look, because some of the numbers we have give us that grid with launch angle and exit velocity to show how many would go out of the ballpark. There had to be a high percentage of those that George has hit on a coolish night in Chicago that just went to the warning track. Jose Altuve, the batter, 1-2 the count. Shields misses inside, 2-2. Altuve coming in batting .342 on the season. Still looking for his first home run of the year. He hooks one foul. Altuve coming off a big series against the Seattle Mariners, had 3 hits in yesterday's game, including 4 runs batted in. So had a couple of hits the night before. Altuve ended the game last night, reaching base 4 straight times. Shields misses down and away, and the count's full. Most hits by a middle infielder per game since 1920. Second
to Roger Hornsby. Come on.
He sends one into center. This one not as well struck. He got under this, and an easy play for Engel, and there's 2 away. Speaking of Engel, the new numbers came out today for the 2018 Sprint Leaderboard, courtesy of StatCast.
It's always exciting.
And Engel was right near the top. Byron Buxton was first. And Adam Engel moved all the way up in the Sprint Leaderboard to number 2 with a bullet. Guess who moved into the top 10 in the Astros dugout?
Brian McCann.
No.
Oh,
good guess. Not really. Derek Fisher. Derek Fisher, who was right around 15th last year, is now 7th in all of baseball on the StatCast Sprint Leaderboard.
Hence the reason we now call him the Flying Fish. That's moving.
Correa with an 0-1 count. Carlos fared pretty well on that Sprint Leaderboard, just a little bit behind Jake Marisnick and Jose Altuve for the second fastest Astro. Correa came in 4th on the Astros spring leaderboard. And then he's right around Alex Bregman. Then just a notch away is George Springer and Yuli Gurriel.
Yuli's been flying. We've actually had a couple people tweet at me saying Yuli was moving pretty good, and I think from our vantage point, we saw him move extremely good.
Springer and Yuli had the same number. Oh, Plummer did the work on the Springer flyout. It's disappointing if you're an Astros fan or a Springer fan.
Yeah, the batting average is actually, with that mile per hour and launch angle, was 961.
Home run percentage 94%.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And George, it's a 403-foot flyout.
Here's a bullet to center. This one's going to land for a hit as Correa has a base hit. 94% chance with that.
Is that not incredible?
Oh, George is not going to be happy to listen to this broadcast. Hopefully no one tells him.
Yeah.
Base hit by Correa with 2 outs.
It's amazing.
Those are techniques and those are numbers, the analytics that we've never been able to look at during a, we looked at it during a game before until this year with MLB StatCast and Baseball Savant.
Yep. It's a good thing we got that tutorial in the offseason.
2 outs, runner on first. And here's Josh Reddick, called strike. Well, when you're in the dugout, as Springer was frustrated after that long flyout, you know you got it well. You know you hit it well. And now there's math to prove it. It doesn't make you feel any better.
I was going to say, can you take that to the arbitration table?
Oh, 1 pitch misses. It's 1-1. Reddick's the one guy with really good numbers against James Shields. 320 career mark. And that moved up with an infield hit his first time. And he has 3 home runs against Shields. Astros, like they do to a lot of starters, have the pitch count up early. Shields more than 19 pitches per inning. As a little cue shot towards Tim Anderson, the shortstop, in the shift, and Reddick is retired. 1 man left on base on a 2-out single by Correa.
Favorite Justin Verlander memory during his time so far with the Astros was it the debut he had in Seattle, or how about the division clincher at home, or the ALCS dominance he had winning MVP there? You can write in maybe another favorite memory for Justin Verlander. We'll have the results later. For Justin, though, his goal coming in was to be strong from the first start of the season. He's done that so far in a few starts for him, but did say that the slider for him needs to be more consistent. He said there's ebbs and flows. There's a lot of things coming together for me. However, that slider is a point of emphasis for him. He's thrown 5 so far, TK.
Yeah, Julia, you love a guy who is pitching as well as he has so far through 4 starts, and he always finds an area where he can improve. And there's never going to be a pitcher more prepared going into any start than Justin Verlander. This Fastball is a soft fly ball on the left, and coming on will be Marwin Gonzalez to put it away. Tim Anderson flies out for the first out of the third inning.
No, I think that's a great point. It would also be interesting to talk to Justin and see if the reason he feels about his slider the way he does is because of the cold weather. We talked about James Shields kind of loses the feeling of the changeup because of the cold weather. I would imagine it's got to be pretty similar for some of these pitches you're trying to create spin. But a perfectionist, to say the least.
Here's Omar Narvaez. 135 ERA and still has stuff to work on.
Yeah, I got to get better.
That's fastball. He's been really working with McCann, and they've been working all the quadrants of the plate with that fastball. That fastball's been really good this year.
No sooner do you say that than he steps off because they can't get on the same page.
Right.
Come on, guys.
And then I think Laz is frustrated because he's from Miami.
Yeah.
And it's probably a little cold out there.
Yeah. Could you speed this up for me, boys?
Here's a high pop-up into shallow left. Marwin has an easy play again. Wynn seems to be bringing the ball back to the infield tonight.
It really does.
As Marwin came all the way in, was almost on the infield cutoff by the time he caught it. He played here a lot.
Oh, I mean, it comes off the lake. They've done a good job. They've actually put some wind barriers up around the second deck to cut down on some of the wind because it would get elevated and start moving all over the place. But it does look like there's a little bit of a breeze coming in. The one flag that is moving.
Number 9 hitter Adam Engel swings and misses. Oh, 1. Justin so far has a couple of flyouts to left this inning. For the outs in the air, 2 strikeouts, and also a ground out. Ahead of Engel, 1 and 2.
Been aggressive early in the count. Confidence, cool night. Seems to have a good feel for that fastball you're talking about, able to locate.
The last one at 95. Verlander will ease into a game. It seems like that first time through the lineup, his fastball can be around 93, 94. And as the game goes along, maybe you'll see a 95. And then when he's finishing out his outing, sometimes you see 96, 97.
Yeah, he's got plenty in reserve, that is for sure.
He is one of the rare pitchers that throws with higher velocity as the game goes along. That time he threw 96 to strike out Engel. That was pretty impressive. Another 1-2-3 inning for Justin Verlander. We head to the 4th. A ticket, a hot dog, a soda, popcorn for select weekday games. Visit Astros.com/ballpark bundle for tickets and info. Is that part of the ballpark bundle?
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Sign me up. Actually, sign me up for the regular ballpark bundle. I don't need that, but that's a nice little bonus too. Here's Yuli Gurriel. He rips one down the left field line. First he didn't come out of the box, and now he's running, and that is a fair ball. He's going to still get to second base as Yuli leads off with a double to start the fourth.
That was insane. The ball boy down the left field line was going to get that baseball. That's a double in fair territory. Yuli thought it was going foul. Everybody thought it was going foul, and then it came back. Oh, this will be great.
You look at it.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Wow, that did move a lot. Was that the wind, or did it knuckle
the
that
sorcery.
way?
Might have gotten off the end of the bat and created that spin, but wow.
Fooled Yuli, fooled the ball boy, and worked out well for the Astros. Here's Alex Bregman. Bregman takes a pitch down and away. Shields doesn't hide his frustration when he misses. It's 1-0.
He's the Josh Reddick of pitching.
Yeah. They have matched up against each other a lot, and Josh has had the advantage. That's a line drive, base hit to right field. Yuli being waved around. He's going to score. Bregman will go to second base, and he is in with an RBI double. Astros on the board, 1-0.
Vaguely remember in the break you yelling about the offense. And I think they were listening. Back-to-back doubles, trading places out there between Yuli Gurriel and Alex Bregman, staying well inside this slider, shooting it pretty firm the other way past Jose Abreu. Yuli's going to score easy, but I like the fact that Alex never broke stride. He had intentions of forcing the issue at second base, and with the bobble, it gets in. Extra base hits.
We've seen some the last couple of games. We're missing for the first 18 games this year. Here's Brian McCann taking a called strike. 6 through 9's picked it up lately.
Oh man. Yes, they have. That OPS going from 544 to 912.
Brian McCann, a big part of that as he sends one down the right field line. This is a fair ball. Bregman got a good start off second. He will score easily. Astros with 3 consecutive hits lead it 2-0. RBI for McCann.
I'm not sure what kind of power you've got over these guys, but keep it up. They might have understood the same thing. They realize that Justin Verlander's going out there pitching pretty well, so why not give him some support?
Still didn't find out if Bregman got that play changed yesterday, but he deserved to have a double yesterday. He should have.
That's a good point. I forgot about asking about that.
Another extra base hit on a ball that they charged an error to Kyle Seager. Here's Marwin Gonzalez. The Astros broke out in various innings the last couple of games in Seattle. It took them until the 7th inning on Wednesday night before they scored 6 that inning, their highest run scoring inning of the year. Sent 11 men to the plate. And then yesterday they scored 4 in the 5th. And those were some unearned runs because of that error on the call that we were referring to off the Bregman potential double. Today they've scored a couple on 3 consecutive hits here in the 4th, and Marwin ahead of the count 2-0.
3-0 changeup. Not a good one either. Might tell the hitter Marwin that he's getting a heater here, 3-0.
McCann with his walk and single tonight is up to 489 for an on-base percentage.
That is a really good number.
Every other time he's at the plate, basically, he's on base.
Log jam.
3-1 the count to Marwin. And he takes one low, ball 4. Shields parks as he walks off the mound, and he is going to get a visit from the dugout.
Coop's been around for a while with the Chicago White Sox organization, worked with some good pitchers along the way. Might be barking about the strike zone a little bit. I think earlier in the count to Marwin there was a good slider mixed in there. With Don Cooper having a conversation, try and calm Shields down, get him back into this, realize the situation. Not much you can say to some of these veteran guys that have been out there for a while. James Shields has been great. He's struggled, he's adjusted, he's gotten through some things. But it might be a place where Don Cooper just comes out and tries to break up the mess that's going on.
Had a chance to catch up with Shields before the game, and he knew against this Astros lineup he had to be at his best.
Yeah.
And him at his best includes getting calls on the edges.
Yeah, you got to have a little generous edge. Yeah, that's
and
for
when
sure.
he's not getting those, he feels like it's going to be a tough lineup to navigate against. Derek Fisher batting. 4 straight Astros reaching base in the 4th. And Shields misses 1-0.
This is really the spot in the Astros lineup that they've had the most issues trying to create some kind of momentum in this 9 spot. I know we showed you the numbers 6 through 9 have been pretty good and getting better, but that 9 spot has been hurting. Only 1 home run and 7 RBIs in this 9 spot throughout the course of the season for the Astros.
That was a Jake home run, I believe, early in the season in Arlington.
Yeah, I think you're right. Might have been opening day.
But Fisher is in the midst of an 0 for 15 in that 9 spot, in the midst of an 0 for 33. See if that can turn around here. At some point, law of averages will play out for the number 9 hitter. So that 6 through 9 graphic, even better for the 6 through 8 hitters.
Absolutely.
There's a strike called. 1 and 2. 2 doubles, a single, and a walk. Fisher struck out looking his first time up. 1 of 2 strikeouts for Shields so far. Shields has walked 3 and struck out 2. Two and 2 the count. Fisher getting the start in center field tonight. First start for him in center this year. He did start a couple of games last year for A.J. Hinch in center when the team was in Philadelphia. Said he wanted to give George a day off, and Risnick's been struggling, so Fisher getting the start tonight in center. Fisher sends one to center field. Engel all the way back, and he'll make a play over his shoulder. Tagging at second is Brian McCann. He will get to third with 1 out.
Good read by BMAC.
This little job going the extra 90 feet for McCann, setting it up for George Springer.
Yeah, and this place brings back some good memories for George Springer. Something he's done more times than Jose Altuve. Got his first career 5-hit game here. Katana a couple times. What I love is a drop shot to start everything off. Base hit away, move around, get back up the middle. Hanging cutter off Robertson going the other way. Pretty cool.
Yeah, just a couple of days after Carlos Correa made his big league debut, Springer with a 5-hit game. Tonight, George looking for his first hit. Although that last one would have been out 94% of the time. As we learned after his exit velocity and launch angle was put on the grid, he just Hit it in the wrong city at the wrong place. 0-1 the count to George. Shields up to 75 pitches with his next delivery. George tries to hold up, and he does. Even though the White Sox had yesterday off, they have a couple of arms in their bullpen that threw a lot of pitches on Tuesday and Wednesday. Hector Santiago threw a combined 77 pitches, and Bruce Rondon a combined 73 in those last 2 games in Oakland. So even with the day off yesterday, those guys probably need a couple days. There's a ball down the left field line, and that's going to be a fair ball headed towards the corner. McCann scores easily. Around third is Marwin. He's going to be waved home by Gary Pettis. Tim Anderson's throw hits the runner. Scoring is Marwin. Here comes George. Shields recovers, not in time. George circles the bases, and the Astros score 3 on the play and lead it 5-0.
Little league home run. How about that? Give him some love on a 5-hit day back a couple years ago, and then all of a sudden he shows up and just yanks one down that line, and things go a little awry after they hit Marwin right in the back with that relay throw. Do it, George.
Here's Altuve taking a strike. Good hustle for George, never stopping. He went to third. He saw the throw hit Marwin, and he came all the way around to score. How about Gary Pettis with the aggressive sending Marwin?
Yuli would have scored standing up. According to StatCast.
Yuli and Springer are dead even on StatCast sprint speed leaderboard, but after that little jaunt around the bases, Yuli might be just trailing him by a little now. Good to see Gary Pettis back in the third base coach's box, and that was a pretty aggressive send.
It really was. They were putting the pressure on the young White Sox team, and I think that's kind of the philosophy of the Astros. With the speed that they do have, they're going to go ahead and force the issue and force this young team to make plays.
George with 2 RBIs and a run scored on the error, and the Astros putting up a 5 spot in the 4th inning.
Double in there?
I would say double because he was going to third on the throw. Altuve a base hit, single in the left field. Astros with 4 base hits and 5 base hits and a walk in this inning. And Shields has no bullpen action going behind him right now. This is his inning. The bullpen having been taxed in that 14-inning game a couple days ago.
Verlander's trying to figure out what the heck to do with himself. He's in a great rhythm on that mound. Unfortunately, his offense is putting up crazy numbers right now. I didn't mean that.
Carlos Correa, 8th batter of the inning. Inside ball 1. Correa singled in 2 at-bats. Now, this is one where the veteran's just going to have to wear it tonight. They are not warming up anybody right now. Inside, it's 2-0.
Which, again, is interesting to me. I know he's a veteran and he's a workhorse. He talked about the number of innings he can go out there and throw. But the fact that he sacrificed himself and pitched out of relief for 28 pitches, you might want to take care of your veteran a little bit more, or maybe a little bit better.
I know they're taxed in their bullpen, but still a little surprising as he approaches 90 pitches. And he hasn't been having much success this inning. A little surprising that that phone hasn't been ringing down to the White Sox bullpen. 2-1.
Maybe it's broken or everybody's hiding underneath. I would imagine there's a lot of guys dressed in camouflage in that White Sox bullpen.
Now we're seeing some stirring.
Got some action.
We saw Gary Pettis with the aggressive send. He did not participate in the game on Sunday.
We had to play the part.
I mean on Thursday.
Yeah, we couldn't divulge all the information for good reason. Yeah.
He missed yesterday's game in Seattle, and Joe Espada was a third base coach in that game for him. And today we find out We knew last night, but we couldn't say it. Julie, what's the story?
Yeah, you guys did a good job not spilling the beans yesterday. They were keeping a secret. Gary Pettis' son, Dante Pettis, of course, the great receiver and punt returner for the University of Washington, was awarded the Jet Award. It's for the most outstanding college football return specialist. And the award ceremony was in Omaha. So Gary Pettis wanted to surprise his son, Dante, and it worked. Came up behind him as they were talking about Dante and announcing the award. He snuck up behind his son and was there to see it. Gary misses a lot during baseball season, but the second baseball season's over, he is usually at Dante's games. The one thing he'll be missing out, though, on is the draft coming up. Dante, there's lots of talk of where he's going to go in the NFL draft, and that will be next week. So a very exciting time for the Pettis family.
Yeah, what a time for Gary to watch his son get drafted into the NFL and to accept that award. Last night in Omaha, a lot of big-time Nebraska Cornhuskers were at that event. 3-2 the count to Correa. Altuve on the move. That's a strike, and the throw is going to be in time. Strike him out, throw him out. So Shields able to work out of the rest of the fourth inning, but 5 score in the inning, and the Astros lead 5-0 heading to the bottom half of the fourth.
League leaders are presented by Houston Methodist. Justin Verlander and his starting pitcher mates are putting up great numbers. AL starter ERA. Charlie the Man Morton, 0.72 leading the way. Garrett Cole and Justin Verlander just behind him. We've got Chris Sale and Matthew Boyd, but 3 Astros right at the top of that leaderboard in ERA.
That is nice to see, as Verlander, in his 5th start of the year, begins his 4th inning of work. The DH and 3/5 of the starting rotation. You have to have a special invitation to get to sit next to that starting crew.
You better. Either that or you better. You probably take off your jacket. Those guys are so hot right now. Just go over them, put your hands around them, and go, oh, it's so warm right now.
Now there's Jake. So Garrett Cole's the other part of that 3/5 of the rotation. Jake surrounding Charlie Morton and Lance McCullers Jr. And then you had Garrett Cole not too far away. And there's Dallas. Nope, that's Evan.
Know your beards, would you?
Can't tell without a scorecard. 1-1 pitch is a little bit inside. 2-1. Evan, a man on his own. Johan Moncada. Evan had some funny responses last night to the fact that he walked himself into a triple play. He wore it. In fact, he basically called the media over and said, "You want to ask me about the play?"
Yeah, and you know what? That's the best way to go about it. Just go out there, face the music, understand that you made a serious mental and physical error out there, and just try and move on.
A little nicer when it's a 9-2 win after that play as well. Ooh, that breaking ball didn't miss by much. Not sure where Laz called it.
He just told Justin Verlander that this curveball missed inside, yet the entire body of Brian McCann is behind home plate and catches it in his chest. We were talking about Laz wanting to speed things up. I got an idea.
And that's the first walk. Verlander felt like he got squeezed a little bit on that 2-2 pitch, and he walks Moncada to start the fourth. Julia, what do you have for us?
It was an interesting clubhouse last night with Gaddis, but also with Charlie Morton, who moved the media outside of the clubhouse yesterday so he could talk to us without having to turn the volume down on the celebration music. That's Charlie Morton for you. But he talked about the starting rotation and just being a part of it and how much fun this is, especially for Charlie, who's been a part of several different teams, has been through ups and downs in his career. He's just really enjoying this moment and how well he's pitching. Also, he said, I look back at my good start. It's fun, but it doesn't mean a whole lot. I've been here before. In 2015, he mentioned a really good start and then said came out the next start, gave up 9 earned runs, inning and 2/3. So it happens fast in this game. Just don't get too complacent and just know that the good times are good. Enjoy them, but at the same time, got to keep working to get better.
Does Charlie realize he's pretty good?
Seriously. At some point, he's got to understand that, yeah, I'm in a good groove right here. It's okay to say you're good right now.
That bases loaded show where Julia had a sit-down interview with him was one of the best.
It is.
As humble as they come and thoughtful in all his answers, and he's turned his career around in terms of velocity.
Oh, he's completely different than how he started out.
And now he's got that nasty curveball, a bowling ball sinker. He's got high velo.
High spin rates.
High spin rates.
Even the peripherals are excellent on Charlie.
And we have said it before on a broadcast, but it bears repeating. When he was signed to a 2-year deal, it raised some eyebrows around baseball. Astros did their due diligence, saw the numbers on Charlie, and knew that if he was to stay healthy, that's a guy they really thought could help their team.
Yeah, and analytically, he matched up to what the Astros wanted to do. I'm not sure. I think that they got an added bonus in adding a guy into that clubhouse who was going to be entertaining and a positive influence. It's pretty impressive.
The fact that he and McCann had a history, and Evan Gaddis with the Braves, and then he and Garrett Cole know each other well from Pirates days. Got a lot of different connections when you're around the game that long.
A little difference in energy levels there.
That's decaf,
yeah,
and caffeinated. Lance is caffeinated.
Very much so.
1-2 pitch misses down and away. It's 2-2. Lance is very much of a dog guy. He and his wife Kara very involved in shelters in Houston and throughout the country. A lot of times, people that own 2 dogs, one dog will be chill, relaxed, and the other dog will be a little more hyper. I think we know which when those 2 get to hang out.
You know which one's a Jack Russell Terrier.
2-2 pitch, and Garcia holds up. It's 3-2. Well, all of a sudden, Justin Verlander had a full count walk, and he has his second full count. You mentioned hanging out in the dugout for a long time, that top of the 4th, while he was happy for the run scored. It does on a cool night sometimes mess with your rhythm a little bit.
No, I think it really does. We hear A.J. Hinch talking about getting down, getting back up, but that was an extended down for Justin Verlander. You could see him on the bench getting a little antsy.
You may have noticed on that last graphic, a very aggressive hitter at the plate, and he goes down swinging. McCann's throw is on the bag, safe. A little delayed call there by Manny Gonzalez, but a stolen base for Moncada after Garcia swung and missed at a pitch in the dirt for a strikeout.
Yeah, I think your comment about the aggressiveness of Avisail Garcia might be the biggest understatement this season. He has 0 walks. So in a 3-2 count, you can already assume the swing.
I'm going to guess Verlander, the perfectionist, did not want to throw that pitch there, but he got away with it. He probably wanted to get him to chase a little bit, but not bounce it up there on 3 and 2. It worked out as he got the strikeout. Moncada now in scoring position, and here's Jose Abreu. Abreu hit the ball hard, but lined out to center field his first time up. Verlander starts him off with a strike.
Got the call. Have you had a chance to get near Jose Abreu?
Yeah.
He is a big man.
Yep.
My goodness. Shook his hand today and just engulfed mine.
He's a big boy at the plate. And they actually play him as an opposite field hitter in center and right.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing how center field is basically wide open.
That's where he hit it his first time up, and Fisher closed down the play with his speed and made the play in center field. But he and JD Martinez right at the top of the hardest hit rate of the season. That first time up counted. He had a line drive to center. That's a lefty pull hitter shift.
It really is.
Foul back, stays 0-2. See the numbers against Verlander. 1361 OPS. The best of any hitter against Justin with 20 or more at-bats.
Some serious damage. I wonder how many of those ABs were around that time where Justin was kind of in that low velocity, not at 100% health. Because now, I would believe even Mr. Abreu would say that Justin Verlander is not the same guy he's faced in the past.
Missed the corner. It's 1-2.
I like the aggressiveness in on the hands. If you got a guy that's been raking you, you'll see pitchers try and go in and tie him up. I thought Jose Abreu also has 5 home runs against Corey Kluber. Maybe he's just a Cy Young crusher.
Those are his top 2 victims of his career.
Wow.
On the ground, Bregman a couple of hops. Makes the play for out number 2. Moncada staying in second. That's 2 outs. And Nicky Delmonico, the batter. Delmonico popped up to Brian McCann on a nice play by the Astros catcher. Went out into the infield, almost all the way out to the grass dirt cutoff at third base to make a play on a pop-up with Bregman in the shift. Fastball for a strike at 94. With few exceptions tonight, wherever McCann has put that glove, Justin Verlander has been able to hit his spot. Verlander with 4 strikeouts tonight. He keeps moving up the charts. He started the night in 39th place in the history of the game in strikeouts. 4 strikeouts puts him in the number 38 spot. He passed Sam McDowell with his 4th strikeout tonight, getting Garcia. Up next, he's 7 away from Jim Cott. Delmonico, another one of these young bats in the White Sox lineup, just 25 years old. That's cleanup, coming in batting .283 on the year. inside. It's 1-2. Astros, after facing 5 of 7 left-handers in the 2 most recent series against the Rangers and the Mariners, will face all righties in this series against the White Sox. Moncada, the only base runner tonight for the White Sox. He walked to lead off the 4th.
Monaco's having a pretty good at bat. Fouling off some good fastballs. Took a good pass to the fastball earlier in the count. Now trying to fight off that down and in slider. That's a slider that Justin feels he needs to be better at. But so far, there's a couple of good locations down and in.
Another foul ball, stays 1-2. A little meeting between McCann and Verlander.
Well, this is the hardest Justin's had to work in this ball game so far. So throwing a lot of pitches in a row here. Veteran move is to go out there, have a conversation about a hitter who's fouled off a couple of pitches, maybe how they want to attack the next pitch and the pitch after that, but also to give Justin Verlander maybe just a little bit of a breather to regroup. Focus on this 2-strike pitch.
Two and two. Monaco grew up in Knoxville. He's from a baseball family. His father was head coach at the University of Tennessee while he was growing up. And now Verlander with his 3rd full count out of 4 batters. It's 3-2 on Nicky Delmonico. Takes his time, regroups behind the mound. Do it all again. Monaco mentioned Justin throw a lot of pitches in this at bat.
Next pitch will be the 10th.
All 4, a couple of walks in this inning. And a really good battle there by Nicky Delmonico to draw the walk.
Every Tuesday night home game is Dollar Dog Night, presented by Nolan Ryan Beef. Enjoy all the dollar hot dogs you can eat this Tuesday when the Astros take on the Angels. For your ticket to Dollar Dog Night, visit astros.com/dollardogs or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
So now the DH Wellington Castillo bats. He was called out on strikes his first time up. Verlander with 4 strikeouts tonight, 1 in each inning. All of a sudden he's walked a couple in this inning after retiring the first 9 batters he faced, and that fastball rides up. It's 1-0. There's a strike called, 1-1.
got a guy dealing like Justin Verlander, you would imagine some of these younger hitters, and some of the veteran hitters for that matter, would be sitting on fastballs in the strike zone. That was a pretty good heater. Even though it was 95 miles an hour, still relatively right down the middle. I would rather hit that than trying to hit some of the other nasty stuff that Justin Verlander's coming at these guys with.
Like that.
Like that.
1-2. Now JV can see his way out of this inning.
Good plate movement.
Slider at 87. He can throw it up to 90.
Might be why he's trying to throw that pitch with a wrinkle, huh? 0.77 opponent batting average versus his curveball is the 7th lowest in Major League Baseball.
Swing and a miss. Gets him with a slider. Back-to-back sliders. And Verlander gets through the 4th. Couple of walks, couple left on. We head to the 5th in a 5-0 game.
Championship collection available at the ballpark and online all season. The collection features pieces for women, men, and children. For more info, visit astros.com/thering. Ooh, is that a fan ring?
That is the 2005 National League Championship ring on the right-hand side.
Whose rings were those?
My gosh. We're going to have to put it back on screen for you, aren't we?
It was David's rings.
Oh, that ring on the right, I believe, was a 2005 National. Did he get him?
Down the line, I think it's going to drift foul.
Okay. It was a 2005 National League Championship ring.
I was looking at the one on the left. Here we go.
You look at it.
Was that the replica ring, though?
On the left? Unless David won the lottery and decided to go get a ring.
That's awesome. What a nice case. Thanks for the tweet.
Thank you.
Are we good? Strike call.
Get back to the game.
Josh Reddick goes down. Oh, this sounds great. It's almost like she's in your backyard.
She's got like
right
a sound booth she's in, right?
It's beautiful. Josh Reddick goes down looking. That's a strikeout for James Shields. No, we do appreciate tweets. I was just having fun. Blummer showed the 2 rings earlier.
Yep.
So the tweet obviously made sense there with the 05 and the 17 Astros rings. Blummer, of course, has the 05 from the other side. Saw that a little earlier tonight. Here's Yuli Gurriel. He hit a ball that kind of knuckled into a fair ball down the left field line.
Yeah, he created some nasty movement on that. His brother got a hit.
Did he?
Yep.
Lourdes. making his major league debut tonight with the Toronto Blue Jays. They're leading the Yankees 8-5. This one has some crazy English on it. Yohan Moncada scoops it up and throws off balance to get Yuli for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Just called up today. Yuli was very excited about it.
He is actually 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs.
Wow.
Gurriels can hit.
Yuli was excited about it, wasn't he, Julia?
Yes, they're really close too, and he was very excited when he was drafted, and it's been fun to watch him. I know the communication between those two that goes on constantly, and he's always talking about his brother, especially to the media, who's always asking how he's doing. But today was a very special day for that family. And, they're so close with their father too, and he went on and on about how proud his dad is now to have these 2 boys in the major leagues. So just so special for their family.
Very cool, and congrats to Lourdes not only for getting to the big leagues, but for starting with a bang. It's like his brother. His brother was talking to the media today. Julian saying he's faster than me, plays better defense than me, he can hit better than me. Very complimentary of his younger brother. So 0-2 the count to Bregman. Takes one in the dirt. We will see the Blue Jays at Minute Maid Park at the end of June, 25th, 22nd, 26th, and 27th. 25 through 27, the Blue Jays will be in town Monday through Wednesday. For the potential Gurriel brothers reunion, there's a little ground ball to short. Shields, after giving up a 5 spot in the 4th, comes back with a 1-2-3 inning in the 5th. A couple of ground balls and a strikeout. Worldwide mattress sale going on now. And by Arctic. Overbuilt, not overpriced. Scenes from Dodger Stadium World Series last year. Astros and White Sox on this Friday night. Glad you could join us. Todd Callis, Jeff Blum, Julia Morales, Julian Preston Wilson, newest member of our broadcast team. We'll have a post-game show tonight right here at Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago. Verlander facing the number 6 hitter, Yolmer Sanchez. And the count is 1-1. Tonight is a 7:10 start. Tomorrow will be an hour earlier, and then Sunday will be a day game before the Astros head back home for a long homestand.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, it'll be nice to be back for a while. They're home all the way through the end of the month.
It'd be nice to actually put the suitcase away.
Yeah.
I feel like I just put it in the closet, opened it, emptied it, and reloaded it. Get on this trip.
That's basically what it was. Minnesota, quick trip for 3 days, back home for a 3-game homestand against the Rangers, then off for a week to Seattle and Chicago. Verlander misses inside to Sanchez. It's 2-2. Yomer bounced back to Verlander his first time up. And hopefully we can put the winter close away.
Oh, I completely agree. My bag again was on overload with all the layers.
I think the phrase I've heard from Julia a couple times on this trip is "I'm over it." Ground ball towards the left side. Bregman off balance throw. Nice play by the third baseman, and the Shiv playing shortstop, and there's one away.
I'm just glad you stopped using that phrase towards me.
Yeah, I think by the time the Astros get back, they will then be in Arizona in early May, and I think the cold weather we won't have to worry about till at least September.
Wow.
Here's Tim Anderson. Anderson flied out to left his first time up. He takes a strike. Well, Verlander was in the dugout top half of the 4th inning for a long time when the Astros scored 5 runs. Probably about 15 minutes or so. Last inning, a quick 1-2-3 inning for Shields, and Verlander right back out there. That fastball, it's 1-1.
And probably any other start other than the one that is happening in a place where it's 35, 40 degrees, he might be okay with those long breaks in between mound opportunities, I guess. But on these cold nights, you want to keep that rhythm, keep that body moving, stay loose.
They do have one big heater down there in the dugout.
What's his name?
If you get close to it, you can fry your shoes off, but it heats the whole
small
dugout.
detail.
Yeah, no, it heats the whole dugout. But I agree with you. On a cold night, as a pitcher, you would probably want to stay in some sort of rhythm where you're out there after every few minutes. There's the first hit of the night for the White Sox. Tim Anderson grounds a single between short and third. Takes a big turn, but he will hold on with a 1-out base hit in the 5th.
Amazingly enough, it was on the curveball from Justin Verlander. Excitable young shortstop Tim Anderson. The double play combo for the White Sox has had some big series against the Houston Astros.
They did some damage against the Astros in that 3-game sweep here in Chicago last year. Omar Narvaez is the batter. Narvaez flied out to left his first time up. High ball 1. You saw D. Gordon in that Seattle series. He was 8 for 8 in steals. He's tied with Tim Anderson, who's on first base right now. He's 8 for 8 in steals this year. Verlander does like to throw over to first a lot. Delivers home and up and away, 2-0. Another mound visit, McCann and Verlander. This will be the second of 6 allowed. Verlander suffered a no decision in his last start. With his line, he would win 90 to 95% of those outings. 8 innings of 1-hit, 1-run baseball. Walked 1, struck out 11. That was the same game Bartolo Colon took a perfect game into the 8th. Astros ended up losing that game in extra innings. That pinpoint control that we saw earlier in the game has escaped Justin a little bit the last couple of innings. Runner on the move on the 3-0 pitch. I think it was ball 4. No signal yet from Diaz. Now Narvaez takes a walk. That won't be a steal. That's just a walk. Runners on first and second. Third walk issued by Verlander. And all three have come in the last couple of innings. Now the number 9 hitter, Adam Engel.
One thing Justin's been very good at this year is being aggressive early in counts, being able to attack hitters. Coming into this game, he only had 5 walks. 3 in this ball game now. Typically, you see some of these veteran power pitcher types, when they get that lead, they really come after hitters, force them to hit their way on, and here he picked him off.
Picked off Tim Anderson, breaking from second. Bregman to Altuve. There's 2 runners on second. Altuve tagged the trail runner, so out is going to be Narvaez. Anderson on the bag. Anderson
screaming at Justin Verlander. Carlos is over there trying to settle him down a little bit. I'm not sure why he's yelling at Justin. But a great job. We talked about the pickoffs, even at second base. Bit of a high throw, but a great job by Alex Bregman. Kind of had the play in front of him, running both runners to second base. Good fundamentals.
Altuve missed the tag on Anderson. They would have rather had Narvaez be the runner instead of Anderson, but nonetheless they get an out of that pickoff, and I'm not sure why Tim Anderson was screaming after that.
Yeah, he was pretty vocal. I'm not sure why. Altuve trying to settle him down. He doesn't sound like he's going for it.
Is he mad that he got picked off?
I'll tell you what. I appreciate good young talent, but sometimes you got to recognize if you're wrong, you're wrong.
He's still talking out there.
The umpire's getting in the middle of it. Manny Gonzalez, the second base umpires, heard a lot of that conversation going on.
There's a strike called. It's 3-1.
Just for the fun of it, let's go back and look at the tag as Anderson comes in. Altuve closing the space, goes down and tags Yoan. Or I'm sorry, Yolmer. Or is that Narvaez? Sorry. There were a couple of tags on Tim Anderson. I'm not sure.
I don't think there's anything wrong with the tag. I think the only thing I can think of, Blummer, is you're slightly embarrassed you got picked off there. I don't know why you would then yell at the pitcher, because it's his job to pick you off if you're going to steal.
Yeah, I appreciate the guys in the truck replaying that, because I was just curious to see if there was anything going on that we maybe didn't pick up on because it was such a good rundown. Altuve tagged Tim Anderson in the chest. I'm not.
Counts full. After being 3-0 on Engel, Verlander has come back to work it to 3-2. In the air center field, Fisher has it lined up, puts it away for the final out of the inning. And Justin Verlander is through 5. 1-hit shutout so far.
Texas. April is your chance to show your spirit, so tweet now and win big. TK?
All right, Julia, on we go to the 6th inning. Astros will have Brian McCann, Marwin Gonzalez, and Derek Fisher due up 7, 8, and 9 in the lineup, leading 5-0. All the runs coming across in the 4th inning, where the Astros sent 8 men to the plate.
Got to give James Shields a lot of credit. Fighting through that 4th inning and going back out here in the 6th, the Chicago White Sox, that depleted bullpen after that series in Oakland.
He ended up hanging in there for a 1-2-3 5th, and while there is bullpen action to start the 6th, he begins the inning with 97 pitches. Shields misses outside, is 2-0. McCann, a walk and a single, has that on-base percentage up near 500 on the year. It's 2-1.
Ultimate fans with the ultimate outfit.
McCann golfs one, fouls, 2-2. Being a golf, best off-season purchase in Brian McCann's life this year. He got one of those simulators so he can play any golf course he wants in America at his home.
That's a World Series bonus check used well.
Pop fly into the White Sox dugout. Shields was all the way over to the dugout in case he had a play on him. "36-year-old doesn't know exactly how many more years he has left in the tank. You can probably relate to this. His oldest daughter is now a big-time volleyball player and traveling around the country playing in tournaments.
Yeah, you better have a wonderful wife, much like I do, that was willing to go and trek those kids all over the country for those tournaments, trying to encourage that future.
James and his wife Ryan have done a great job, and their daughter's freshmen in high school and playing at an elite level already. So
it happens quick.
Like, I don't want to miss too many. So he's certainly at that point of his career where he's not sure how many more years he has left. He did make an opening day start this year. It was his 8th career opening day start. It's at that time of your career when you start to think about how many bullets are still in the chamber. 3-2 pitch misses, and Shields frustrated with himself as he walks Brian McCann to start the inning.
What's his OBP now?
I want to say he's at 500, although I don't have the numbers right in front of me. The truck
just keeps going up.
The truck will do it for me.
Yeah, we got people.
Yeah, we've got people that have better math skills than I do. So McCann draws a leadoff walk. He's been on base all 3 times. I'm going to say he's close to 500. Not at 500. Here's Marwin. Marwin walked, scored a run his last time up. .500 Blummer. Ding, 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 ding. 500 on base percentage, 21 games into the season for Brian McCann.
50% of the time he gets on base every time.
That was well played. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is.
Marwin pops one up on the infield. Tim Anderson, the shortstop, waits. Puts it away for out number 1. It is time to name that Astro, brought to you by Nissan.
Oh boy. Are these the real clues? Or am I going to blow these up?
All right, so if you did not join us yesterday, it wasn't the smoothest Name That Astro presented by Nissan.
Hence the reason they gave it to you tonight.
So here are the clues. Who am I? Blummer faced him. This is an actual fact. Blummer faced him. Special K. Electric year in 2004?
I don't know.
Send your guesses to @ATT Sports at SW. Here is Derek Fisher.
It was a special year for everybody who faced me in 2004. You remember that one vividly. You had to witness it.
It's not the Devil Rays' best season across the board.
What are you talking about? We had champagne celebration after win 70, didn't we?
Oh, that was the year they won 70, yeah.
12-game win streak,
Yep.
12-game lose streak.
Yeah, Comerica Park, they celebrated the 70th win.
Yep, it was against the Tigers.
Yep. 1-0 pitch. Lou Piniella, then the manager, said if we win 70, we're going to toast. Sure enough, they did. That was the highest win total for the Devil Rays in their 10 years before they became the Rays. 2-0 the count to Fisher. Fisher hit the ball hard last time. That was a good sign. Lined out to center field. Also has struck out. There's a ball ripped, and that is a base hit. Fisher hits one to the wall. Brian McCann's going to get to third, and Fisher easily into second with a double. Derek Fisher snaps himself an 0 for 16 with that base hit.
Gets those 9-hole hitters on the board, too.
Snaps an 0 for 34 for the 9-hole.
.89-mile-an-hour fastball right down the middle. Drop the barrel on it. Rake it down that right field line. Send McCann on his way.
Brian McCann gets into third base. That is the last batter James Shields will face. He gave it what he had for 111 pitches worth tonight after appearing out of the bullpen a couple of days ago. He will leave. We'll tell you about the new reliever for the White Sox after this. Or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Houston Astros, LLC. Danny Farquhar, the new pitcher for the White Sox. Second and third, one out. Infield comes in against George Springer. Farquhar tries a pickoff, and Brian McCann doesn't fall for it.
It's a bold strategy.
Element of surprise with McCann running.
Don Cooper and James Shields talking it over.
Well, Shields wore a lot of pitches tonight after throwing a bullpen session the other day. That was the taking one for the team outing for Shields, as he threw 111 pitches and didn't really have a lot of bullpen action when he was struggling in that fourth inning.
Should be a respectful conversation. James Shields putting his heart out there for that White Sox team after coming in relief on the 18th.
Yeah, it's a pretty good conversation going as Springer slings one towards right, and that's a fair ball into the corner. George with 2 more RBIs. Give him 4 on the game and give the Astros a 7-0 lead.
That's what happens when the bottom part of this Astros lineup, we've been putting a lot of heat on those guys 6 through 9. And there was a lot of emphasis put on that bottom portion of the lineup last year, and they produced. And the reason that you want to see that 6 through 9 guys doing a good job is because if they're on base and you turn this lineup over, good things like this happen for George Springer.
Didn't want to misrepresent what I said. Shields and Cooper have a lot of respect for each other. They're talking right now very calmly. Shields is an animated person.
Well, and you can also say things in the heat of the moment also and get away with it. But it is a very good conversation. I agree with you what you're trying to say.
No way that Shields challenging authority. He's a competitor, and he was a little frustrated at the time, and they had a little conversation that got calmer as it went along. He and Coop and Rick Renteria good now. Although I'm sure James would have liked to see those runners stay on the bases. Those two go against him as George Springer drives in 2 to make it 7-0. And here's Jose Altuve. Springer's taken over the lead in RBIs from Carlos Correa in this game.
Happened kind of quick, too.
George gets 4 tonight. Jose Altuve had 4 yesterday. Top of the order really making things happen. Last 3 games, the Astros offense coming alive.
Astros have experience against Farquhar also. He pitched for the Seattle Mariners previously.
A little slow roller off the bat of Altuve. You know, last night or yesterday's game and tonight's game, first time through the lineup, it seemed like this could be a problem.
Yeah.
Astros didn't show much yesterday against Marco Gonzalez, didn't show much today against James Shields first time through. And then all of a sudden after the 3rd inning, the Astros with 5 in the 4th and 2 more here in the 6th. Altuve swings and misses at a pitch in the dirt. Narvaez checks Springer at second and throws the runner Altuve out. That'll be a strikeout for out number 2. 2015, Blummer, Carlos Correa made his big league debut.
Yep, June 8th. I was here to witness it. Even for Carlos Correa, he looks young. Now he's just a stalwart at shortstop. But beat out this play to short. They actually had to replay it. And then the next night off Zach Duke. Elevate to celebrate. First of his big league career. Many more to come off the bat of Carlos Correa. And that is when the magic started. Actually helped propel that 2015 team into that wild card position.
I mean, his numbers from the time he came up to the end of the season were pretty much better than anybody else in that lineup. And he was doing it as a 20-year-old. It was a remarkable thing to watch from afar. I can't imagine watching him day in and day out and seeing him perform at that high level for a team that ended up in the postseason.
Well, that's the crazy thing is because 2013-14 for Julie and I, our first time starting out here broadcasting for the Houston Astros, we talked a lot about the farm system of the Houston Astros, and it was led by Carlos Correa. So we had a lot of time to chat him up, look at his numbers, and then all of a sudden he showed up on the scene and he burst onto the scene, and we've loved having him out there ever since.
And each year he gets better in every aspect of his game. And I think this year the biggest improvement has been defense.
Yeah.
We have seen him really increase his range, and that first step defensively has been a lot better than I remember last year. Tonight he's got a couple strikeouts, but also a base hit up the middle.
Good story from that day. The draft was happening. We're all in the clubhouse. Media is allowed in there, and they draft. The Astros draft Alex Bregman, the shortstop. Players start ribbing Correa, saying, "Look, they've already drafted your replacement." First day in the show.
Turns out they end up right next to each other on the infield. Although the times that Correa's been injured or needed a day off, Bregman's played a pretty fine shortstop as well.
Absolutely has.
Farquhar taking over for James Shields in the 6th inning. And has a full count on Carlos Correa.
Seeing that fastball from Farquhar around 93 miles an hour. Also has a changeup and a curveball.
In the air, right field, well struck. Garcia all the way back at the wall. He leaps, it's gone! Carlos Correa hits a 2-run home run, and the Astros lead this one big. It's 9-0.
A little mad at George about picking up the RBI lead. Decided to jump back in it with a 2-run home run of his own. No sooner do we talk about number 1 than Carlos goes Oppo Taco. Even in this weather, these guys are maybe becoming accustomed to it. Not afraid to throw the barrel out there.
Like you said, good memories in this building for him. Here's Josh Reddick.
Goes a long way.
Correa and Springer both with 16 runs batted in now for the team lead. Here's Reddick going the other way, bidding for a hit. Long run Delmonico, and Nicky gets there for the final out of the inning. But the Astros add 4. 2 RBI double, and then
Correa showing up. Fastball out over the plate. Great bat path to it, and then launch.
Check out areas like the broadcast booth, press box, dugout, and much more. Visit Astros.com/tours to book your Astros ballpark tour today. On we go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. In this 9-0 game with a big lead, A.J. Hinch getting Jose Altuve out of the game. As Verlander faces the top of the order the 3rd time through and delivers a strike to Yoan Moncada. Moncada walked. He was the first base runner of the game for the White Sox. He's also struck out. He's down in the count this time, 0-2. Marwin Gonzalez now playing second base for the Astros. He moved in from left field. Altuve usually doesn't like to leave games early, and I assume with the cold weather and a 9-0 lead, AJ's like, let's get him the last 3.5 innings off. Derek Fisher moves from center to left, and then Jake Marisnick is the center fielder. Yuli Gurriel took the play himself. He wanted to toss it to him. How about Justin Verlander, second to last start? as a Tiger was right here at Guaranteed Rate Field against the White Sox.
And he did it with the highlighter uniform on too.
Players Weekend got to style it up a little bit. Verlander with some very good numbers against the White Sox, and continuing that tonight. The reason I laugh with Yuli is he loves to throw the ground ball that he fields to the pitcher covering, even if he's right to the bag, and he did it again right there. And finally Verlander's like, you get it.
Yeah, you take it.
You're standing right there, Yuli. 1-0 to Avisail Garcia. He sends one in the air to right. That'll send Reddick all the way back. Josh still drifting and makes the play right on the edge of the track. One of the deeper fly balls of the night for the White Sox, but it results in an out. Just one hit so far allowed by Verlander. That was a single by Tim Anderson. Two outs, base is empty, and Verlander's nemesis Jose Abreu at the plate. An advantage Verlander tonight, a line out and a ground out. Big swing. Foul behind us, right on top of us. That landed in the booth.
There's a lot of upset people up here right now. What happened?
Julia Morales.
I think it came out of the roof. Hold on a sec, I gotta make some friends.
Blummer is going to toss that foul ball that somehow ended up in our booth to the crowd. Making friends here, Guaranteed Rate Field. That's a strike call. All right, so listen, so we have a small window opening.
Yeah.
It didn't come through the window?
It came straight down. It actually had a pretty good launch angle, and the return to earth angle was even better to make it into the window.
Nice.
Yeah. I put my head down. I didn't know what was going on. Everybody behind us freaked out. I was writing down a couple of notes.
One and two the count.
Everybody okay back there?
Yeah, in the booth, everybody's fine. Yep. Hot chocolates, coffees have survived. 2-2 the count. Verlander's pitch count with those 3 walks, a little bit higher than maybe he would like in the 6th inning. It's right around more than 15 pitches per inning, which isn't bad, but he was on a much better pace after retiring the first 9 batters of this game. Knows Abreu has had success. He's worked him tough tonight. 2-2 count is a smash backhanded by Bregman. He knocks it down, gets up and throws, safe at first. Bregman did all he could. Abreu has himself an infield hit on a rocket.
I'll tell you what, we talked about how Jose Abreu is a big man. He can still move a little bit, but this ball was absolutely ripped to third base. Cold night like this, I got to give Alex Bregman a lot of credit for staying in front of this. Almost picked it clean. Bounced back, grabbed it with the bare hand, and fired it across. But well done, Alex Bregman, to make that close at first. Jose Abreu hustling hard. 109.5 miles an hour off the bat.
He's hit a couple over 100 miles an hour tonight. One was an out to center field, and that one an infield hit. Here's Nicky Delmonico taking a pitch down low for a ball, 1-0. Second hit allowed by Verlander. There you go, Abreu and Moncada.
Well, how about the guy he's talking to, too? Yuli Gurriel, another high exit velocity type guy.
That's a nice pitch for a strike. 1-1 the count. Verlander dropped that changeup in there on the 1-0 pitch. Justin doesn't throw a whole lot of them. Usually it'll be the left-hand hitters when he does throw a changeup. This one's popped in the air, shallow right. Josh Reddick comes in and over, puts it away, and Verlander is through 6 innings of 2-hit shutout baseball. Yuli Gurriel, when he makes the play at first, I guess I have to take it myself.
And they actually got out and played baseball on this day. They did a lot of work out there clearing the snow, using the lawnmowers, probably not in the way they imagined them being used, but they did a good job of clearing off the snow.
Yeah, this is one of the days they played, as you said. Not a postponement.
They didn't fall apart. They played through it.
They played that day, April 9th.
Guess who didn't? The Cubbies.
Same day.
Soft.
Here's Yuli Gurriel. Hey, Blummer, it's Bummer pitching.
Yeah.
Aaron Bummer's on the mound, the lefty.
Trying to set me up. I'm not going for it.
1-1 the count.
Fastball, slider. 9 games pitched this season. So if he gets the L, then do you call him? Ooh. Never mind, I'll back off, sorry.
No, that's well played. That's good right there.
It's the best I can do.
So that day that you saw on Get Out and Play, presented by Toyota, they played April 9th.
Yeah.
They were snowed out in a game April 1st in Kansas City. And they were snowed out 3 games on the most recent trip to Minnesota. The 3 postponements in Minnesota in consecutive days hasn't happened in a while in the big leagues. Go all the way back to 2007 in April when Seattle and Cleveland had 4 in a row postponed. Here's a ground ball right side. Gurriel is retired for the first out of the inning. Yuli now 1 for 4, double a run scored. That'll bring up Alex Bregman. Bregman knocked in the first run of the game as he and Gurriel went back-to-back with doubles. The trick when you get 3 days off in a row with postponements is trying to find a way to make up the games. Fortunately, the White Sox and the Twins are in the same division, so they'll have opportunities throughout the year, but it's still not going to be a great setup for the 2 teams. White Sox game on the 13th, 2 days after the Astros were in town. We made up as part of a doubleheader on June 5th. Their game on the 14th. The next day will be made up on a doubleheader on September 28th. And their postponement on the 15th will be made up on a mutual off day on August 20th.
Oh, that is when you're a player and you hear mutual off day, that is not good.
That is bad news.
That is makeup date waiting to happen.
That is in the middle of a homestand for them. They will play 3 games over the weekend against Kansas City.
Yay.
Fly to Minnesota for a game.
Are you kidding me?
And then come back for 2 against the same Twins.
I actually had that happen to me when I was a White Sox. We had to fly to Boston to play a makeup game.
In the middle of a homestand?
Yeah, and it was interesting in the sense that Ozzie Guillen, in all of his coaching wizardry, literally took 9 position players and about 5 pitchers.
Seriously?
Hopped on a chartered jet, flew to Boston.
Did not have a backup?
No, it was skeleton crew. We left plenty of regulars behind. Of course, I was on the trip. So we fly to Boston. Guess who we're facing that day? Kurt Schilling. Guess what happened?
Not good.
We came back with the W. That's right.
Nice.
Told all the regulars, hey, if you need us, we'll be here. We'll pick you up.
So he literally left part of his team back here.
Oh, yeah. Most of it, yeah.
Just said, we got enough to play with 14 or so.
Yeah, this is all we're going with. Don't get hurt.
How about that? And you guys beat Schilling.
Beat Schilling and came right back.
How about it?
Didn't even pack a bag.
Bummer now facing Brian McCann with 2 outs and nobody on. And McCann has a count of 3-0. Why wouldn't he? He's got a 500 on base percentage.
He's going to up his chances of getting on.
Joe Mauer was leading baseball with a 500 on base percentage coming into today. McCann doesn't have enough plate appearances yet, but 500 is 500.
Yeah, no doubt.
This ball in the right field coming on Garcia, and he makes the play. Aaron Bummer, a 1-2-3 top half of the 7th inning. 7th inning stretch time here at Guaranteed Rate Field. And for us, it's time to send it to Kevin Eschenfelder in our Rooms to Go lounge as we head to the bottom half of the 7th.
Now for Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, iOS, and Android. Learn more at RBI.com.
Well, 9-0 game. Astros with a 5-run 4th and a 4-run 6th, comfortably in front, and Justin Verlander's job is finished for the day. 6 innings of 2-hit shutout baseball. Verlander walked 3 and struck out 5. And with a big lead, and Verlander on a cold night out of the game, Joe Smith is in there.
See Joe out there making his 8th appearance. Still working that whip and ERA down. Did a good job with that fastball, slider, occasional changeup mix in there. You saw him in Seattle on the 18th, pitched a perfect inning with 11 pitches, had a punch out in it.
Wellington Castillo, Yomer Sanchez, Tim Anderson, first three to face Joe Smith. 7 shutout innings for Verlander puts him up to, 6 shutout innings for Verlander puts him up to 32 2/3 innings on the season, and he's allowed 4 earned runs. Castillo struck out twice against Justin. Verlander's new ERA, not quite as good as Garrett Cole or Charlie Ward, but he's 1.10.
Keep working hard. Good things will happen. Persevere.
5 starts in, 1.10. I mean, pitcher of the month is going to be an Astros love fest.
It's going to be the triumvirate of Astros.
All 3 could easily get votes or win. Still have 10 days to go in the month. 1-2 pitch from Smith misses. 2-2. Verlander very good again against the White Sox. Actually snapped a streak where he had allowed 2 runs in each of his last 7 starts against them. Last time he threw shutout baseball against the White Sox was 2011 when he went 7 innings. Of his 42 previous appearances against the White Sox, he had held them scoreless just 1 other time. So 1 out of 42 times as a Tiger he holds them scoreless, and 1 out of 1 time as an Astro. His numbers with the Astros continue to be ridiculously good.
He likes that Astro orange. Woo.
And increases regular season winning streak to 10. Seven of those coming with the Astros. He had a couple of wins for the Tigers in his last 2 decisions with Detroit. Swing and a miss. Smith striking out Castillo, the first batter he faces.
Great night for Justin Verlander. Had all of his pitches working. He's doing a great job for me getting that fastball over early, taking command of some of these ABs, and he was in a pretty good rhythm until that 4th inning where he walked a couple of hitters, but able to work out of some damage. Curveball mixed in there. 6 innings strong, only gave up 2 hits. The 3 walks you'd probably complain about a little bit, but had 5 punch outs. But a very clean start for Justin Verlander again. How about those last 8 starts, Todd?
128 earned run average and averaging exactly 7 innings a start.
Averaging 7 innings.
Average.
Wow, that's good.
When Justin Verlander goes 6 shutout and is below your average during the last 8 games, that's telling you something. Verlander now with the Astros, 10 regular season starts, 7-0, 8-0 if the Astros win tonight. That's pretty good right now. And a 1.08 ERA. 10 regular season starts with the Astros. That's pretty good.
You kind of run out of ways to explain that other than just one word, which is dominant.
Well, here's what I'm seeing now. I'm seeing 0-2 count to Yomer Sanchez is what I'm seeing here. But I'm seeing nationally, and a strikeout. Smith has 2 strikeouts. Nationally, people are starting to rumble about this being the best rotation in a long time. Julian.
Well, it's time to reveal the results of today's Chevy Stroh poll. So talking Verlander, what's been your favorite memory during the time. Oh, here we go. ALCS dominates 73%. Thanks for the votes. Pretty good.
That was a landslide. I don't blame him.
Walked away with the MVP trophy.
Fishing clincher was cool, especially for your first home start.
If you're into that.
The debut was cool because it was a debut in an Astros uni. But yeah, the ALCS. Down 3-2, pitching game 6, and he just said, "I got you, boys."
Put him on his back and just ran away with it.
And that was when the "I literally love Justin Verlander" quote came from Jose Altuve.
I got a couple of write-in votes on my Twitter feed, which were pretty good, that I might have voted for. It was the Todd Frazier swing and miss on the curveball.
Oh my God.
that was pretty good. That was in that American League Championship Series.
Yeah, that was completely fooled in an emergency of emergency hacks. I also saw at least one that mentioned him coming back from the clubhouse to
Oh yeah, that was a good one too.
rally the troops.
Forgot about that.
Joe Smith has looked good in this inning. He has 2 strikeouts, and he's ahead of Tim Anderson, a ball and 2 strikes. Anderson, though, sends one to right. Josh Reddick is over there, ski mask and all, puts it away just in foul territory. A 1-2-3 inning for Joe Smith. We head to the 8th, 9-0. UCLA over the Yankees, and we've got details on how Springer's formal seaside wedding turned into a big-time dance party. All that and more on Astros Bases Loaded Fridays before pregame and re-airing all week long, only on AT&T Sportsnet. Knowing Julia as I know Julia, she probably got right to the bottom of who is the best dancer at that wedding and who maybe needs a little help with their dance moves.
I wonder if they got a little liquid courage help.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Wedding dancing?
Believe it.
Yeah.
It's on.
And with Springer's wedding?
Oh, yeah. We've seen him in the dugout cutting it up, too. Then you get the entire team in there joining in.
Marwin Gonzalez leads off, facing Aaron Bummer in his second inning of work. I did catch one piece of the promo, and I think Springer and I share one thing in common, and that is the only thing we controlled in the wedding was the DJ. And then
that's usually a successful wedding.
Yeah, yeah. The less that we got involved, the better off it probably was. Here's a fly ball in the left field. Marwin gets under this one, and he's an out. First batter of the eighth. I'll bring up Derek Fisher. Fisher with a double his last time up. 1 for 3 tonight. Fisher takes a called strike. James Shields followed by Danny Farquhar and then Aaron Bummer.
It got busted.
I did.
That was awesome.
I called him Plummer. Aaron Bummer, the new pitcher. Saw him last year with the White Sox. Bass is going to the delayed calls here to mix it up in the 8th inning. It's 1-2. Games for Chicago last season. Slowly hit towards the middle with Fisher's speed. Anderson knows he has to hurry, which he does. 2 away.
Power player of the game is presented by TXU Energy. It is George Springer. Back to the place where he got his first career 5-hit game. Here he's piling on some RBIs. Double ends up being an error with the ball getting away and gaining an extra 90 feet, coming all the way around to score on that Little League home run. 3 runs right there. He wasn't done yet. 2 hits on the day, 4 RBIs, 2 runs scored. See George getting back in the swing of things, just sneaking that one in that right field line. Thumbs up all the way around for the Houston Astros, especially for George Springer here tonight.
2 RBI double in the 4th, made it a 5-0 game when he circled the bases. 2 RBI double in the 6th, made it 7-0. 4 runs batted in. Aaron Bummer is out of the game as the right-hand hitting George Springer is due up. They're going to go to Carson Fulmer. Fulmer was the starting pitcher in that game on Wednesday in Oakland. Lasted just 1 inning. He's made 3 starts this year. Now Renteria with the bullpen that has been taxed in those last couple of games against the A's, even though they had the off day yesterday. He started the game with a pitcher who ended the game on Wednesday, and now he's going to the pitcher that started the game on Wednesday.
Makes sense.
Carson Fulmer out there with 2 outs and nobody on in the 8th inning. Aaron Bummer's night is done. He did his job, faced 5 batters, retired all 5, including a strikeout of Alex Bregman. Joe Smith pitched a 1-2-3 7th inning for the Astros. Colin McHugh had been warming up. Whoever was last warming up for the Astros has put on a warm-up jacket. You don't see that often after a pitcher warms up, but now with the other side going to a reliever.
Carson Fulmer's got a fastball. Can cut it a little bit. Curveball, changeup. Lies heavily on that fastball, throwing it 50% of the time. Can get up to 93, 94 miles an hour with it.
No, Springer will bat for the 5th time tonight. Colin McHugh had that jacket on when the White Sox reliever Fulmer came out of the bullpen, and then now that he's throwing pitches, so is Colin again. It's better and move. Stay warm. I think we're seeing Colin get more comfortable working out of the bullpen. We'll see how he does tonight. Looks like he is adjusting to that role.
I would imagine the hardest part is finding a way to get game ready to come in out of the bullpen. Normally he has plenty of time and before those starts, 20-30 minutes to really take his time and get loose. Changes when you get out there to the bullpen. You got to ramp things up a little bit quicker.
Springer is the only Astro on this roster that has an at-bat against Carson Fulmer. Been a couple of walks. Altuve and Reddick have faced him and walked, but the only AB is Springer. He's 0 for 1. And he's down on the count here, ball and 2 strikes. Astros trying to improve to 14-7 on the year. They had picked up 3 games on the Angels the last 3 days to move to just a half game behind Los Angeles.
the AL West leading into tonight's play. Yankees play on the West Coast this evening. They are underway against the Giants, trailing 1-0 in the third inning.
He just got roughed up in that Boston series. Only scored 3 runs.
Those were the 2 best teams record-wise going into the series, and one proved to be pretty dominant in that 3-game set in Anaheim.
Yeah, the Red Sox are rolling.
Red Sox are doing things that are at a historic pace right now for the first 18 games. Not many teams have ever started 16-2 or better. 2-2 the count to Spring. Red Sox are in Oakland tonight. They're trailing early 3-0. George doing a good job laying off those last couple. It's now 3-2. 2 doubles tonight for Springer. Gives him 6 doubles on the season. He and Carlos Correa tied for the team lead in that department, and also tied for the team lead with 16 RBIs each. Called strike 3. George said that was inside, but he is called out by Laz Diaz for the final out of the 8th. We head to the bottom half of the 8th, 9-0 Houston.
.com to stream on your computer. Log in with your cable account and you are all set. Available for those with AT&T Sportsnet in their TV subscription. Blackouts and territorial restrictions apply. When we're in Chicago,
Oh man, that
we
looks
like
good.
our pizza deep dish style.
That is awesome.
Cheese pool.
That place is so good. Giordano's.
I don't even think that was slowed down. It was magical.
You and AJ, right?
Yeah, we had a good time in covering all the bases this week. I told him it was my favorite one.
Because you got the pizza.
Super slow-mo.
Is this sponsored?
Oh, no, that's
No.
regular speed.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's,
Get it for the gram.
it's all about the show.
All about the Instagram stories.
Yep.
There's a ball in the center field. New pitcher for the Astros. We saw him warming up last inning. Colin McHugh. He gets Omar Narvaez to fly out to center field for the first out.
Colin got an inning back on the 18th against Seattle. Had a couple of punch outs. And to Todd's point about him adjusting to that bullpen action, doing a pretty good job in 7 2/3 innings. 1.17 ERA. About the 12 punch outs in the 7.2. It's good to see from Colin. A little extra life on the fastball. Bringing back that sharp slider that he developed last year also.
in on the hands. This one is going to be Marwin Gonzalez who makes the play as Engel pops out for out number 2. HOU, 3 pitches, 2 outs. That's about as efficient as you can get. Back to the top of the order for Yohan Moncada. Hey, Evan Gaddis catching for the first time this year. Good things. Our truck and our camera guys are on point because we didn't notice. Looked like the same guy.
Same guy.
Same guy.
They wear different masks though when they catch. Evan goes with the hockey mask to protect the beard. It's got a little extra throat protection. As opposed to Brian McCann going with the classical catcher's mask and helmet.
That was a defensive swing, and that tells you what McHugh's stuff looks like to a hitter. That was Moncada having no chance at that curveball. Snapdragon 2 making Lance McCullers proud in the dugout. HOU has the ability, if AJ so chooses, to go a couple of innings. He wants to rest the other guys in the bullpen tonight. Good to see Gaddis get his first work behind the plate. We have seen only Brian McCann and Max Stassi start as catchers this season. Evan has been used exclusively as a DH. We saw him working on that glove earlier tonight. So maybe AJ said, hey, you never know. Might need you to catch a couple of innings at some point.
Well, we saw Altuve come out, give him a little bit of rest. Same thing for McCann.
Perfect pitch on the outside corner by Colin McHugh. Strikes out Moncada, 1-2-3 inning. Let's go places. And by Volkswagen. Good night for the Astros in the opener of this 3-game series against the White Sox. Astros trying to win their 4th in a row on this road trip. After losing the opener on Monday in Seattle, Astros offense has come alive as of late as Jake Marisnick will lead things off. Jake is batting in Jose Altuve's spot. He came on as part of a defensive switch a couple of innings ago. Altuve left after batting in the 6th inning. At that point, the Astros led 9-0, and AJ just giving Altuve a little rest, as he is with Brian McCann tonight. And Marisnick down on the count, 0-1. Saw Derek Fisher snap an 0 for 16 earlier tonight. Jake trying to break through an 0 for 20 right now as Carson Fulmer at the last out of the 8th inning stays in there to pitch the 9th. It'll be Jake, Carlos Correa, and Josh Reddick. One and two the count. Giles, who had a little bit of a back issue in Seattle, healthy enough now. He will pitch the ninth, it appears. Fulmer misses away with the breaky ball. It's 2-2. Astros did all their damage in 2 innings. 5-run fourth and a 4-run sixth. 8 of their 10 hits were in those 2 innings as well. Had a little bit of a scare in that White Sox dugout earlier. Announcement made in the press box that the reliever Danny Farquhar had passed out and was sent to Rush Hospital. He is conscious. He is being tested right now, but a little bit of a frightening moment earlier tonight.
Yeah, that's scary. Hopefully Danny is okay. And
swing and a miss. Marisnik goes down swinging. That's the first out of the 9th inning.
just like we promised earlier in the game, it's time for the Miller Lite true moment. Hold true moment. Carlos Correa unleashing the fury, going Apo Taco over the outstretched arm of Abisail Garcia. Nice poke going the other way. Getting back in that RBI race with George Springer. 2-run jack. Scene of the ballpark where he hit his first big league home run in 2015.
And he gets into one here into left center field, all the way back. Gone! Carlos Correa hits a home run to left center field, his second of the night. And he has himself 4 on the season now to tie George Springer and Josh Reddick. And the Astros are in double figures with 10. Correa, 2 home run game.
Oh, don't get him hot. He could carry a ball club with his talent and his power. That was a hanging breaking ball, absolutely destroyed out there to left center field on a brisk evening here on the south side. 103.4 miles an hour off the bat. Josh wanted a piece trying to take the lead back.
He took a big swing in that first offering. Springer had taken the RBI lead with his 2 RBI double in the 6th. Correa tied him with a 2-run home run in that same inning and now retook the RBI lead right back. Carlos with 17 runs batted in to Springer's 16. And a 3 RBI, 2 home run night tonight. He also has 3 hits. Reddick down to the count 0-2. And try to hold up. It's now 1-2. Correa was 6 for 14 in the 4-game series in Seattle, so a 9-hit road trip thus far. With the shift on, this is a long run for Yomer Sanchez. He'll get there. And that's out number 2 in the inning.
There's a lot of energy going through that baseball for Carlos Correa. You can see on the Mattress Firm Supermo, Fulmer getting on the side of that slider. That is the cement mixer right into the bat path of Carlos Correa, who pretty much abused it on a line drive out there to left center field for that second home run of the game. 399 feet estimated.
Yuli with a little tapper on the right side. Abreu, what's going on? That did not look pretty at all from the start. Nobody was covering the bag, and Yuli's going to reach. So it's going to be a base hit.
Yeah, they don't have a statistic for mental errors. That was the old "me got it, you take it." There was a little bit of confusion.
And then Fulmer stopped running to cover the bag.
He was allergic to dirt.
Well, it goes as a hit for Yuli. Man with the highest average exit velocity. That's not going to add very much to his average, but he'll take the hit.
How about the speed of Yuli causing the issues?
Sprints.
Yeah.
Bregman to center field, sending Engel all the way back, still going, looking up, off the wall. Yuli is going to be held up at third. Bregman with a double off the top of the wall. And the Astros keep the hits rolling. 2 doubles for Alex tonight. He didn't miss a home run by much.
Good swing. Nice and compact. That's the Alex Bregman we've come to know and love. Get those hands ready, recognize, and then just, he is so quick when he is going good. He is so quick to the baseball, to that contact point. And a lot of these side swings you're seeing is them get to contact and continue to drive through that line of the pitch, that plane that the pitch is coming down through. That is beautifully done.
Evan Gattis will get an at bat. He took over for McCann last inning. 6th batter of the inning for the Astros. Evan batted in the cleanup spot yesterday, was 1 for 4. Drew a walk, but also hit into the first Astros triple play since 2016. I think if that game was 3 or 4-0, Gary Pettis may have sent Yuli Gurriel.
Yeah.
But in a 10-0 game, you don't want to pile on if you don't have to. It wasn't an obvious send. It was a little bit of a tweener, but usually the aggressive Pettis would have sent him there. Evan down in the count 0-2.
Pretty good drive by Alex to get it over the head of Engel. I mean, he's one of those outs above average professionals at a +20. And then you mentioned that StatCast speed, all that together. Good credit to Alex. Smoked that.
Gattis goes down swinging, ball in the dirt. They'll have to make the play to first, which they do. And that'll do it for the Astros in the 9th. But they add one more on the Carlos Correa home run, his 2nd of the night. It's 10-0. Here are your clues. One of them had to do with last night's name, that Astro as well. Plummer did face him. Special
we
K.
think.
Special K in an electric year in 2004. There he is.
He did face him. We got it right.
A lot of people thought Rocket was the answer yesterday. But
It could have been anybody yesterday.
333 versus Rocket.
Yeah.
That's good. Hey, earlier we were talking, speaking of Rocket, we were talking about best rotations. Not just this year, but in a long time, maybe ever. This year's Astros rotation right up there.
No, we spend a lot of time talking about these guys, and then you project out what they're doing. If they're able to maintain this kind of pace, it would be legendary by leaps and bounds.
Yeah, it's been one guy after another now for 8 straight starts.
Yeah, and each guy doing better the next time around. It's amazing to watch these guys compete against each other, but if they have the ability to stay healthy, extend these outings, and put up the mad numbers that they're doing right now, we will be talking about this rotation for a very long time. And I know for a fact that opposing teams talk about this rotation when they show up, and this might have a lot to do with it.
First 20 games of the season. And then tonight, Justin Verlander added 6 shutout innings to that total.
Oh boy, getting better.
All the other seasons are Astrodome years. It has been a lot of fun to watch. We knew it was a good rotation coming out of the gates. And they have performed better than anybody could have hoped so far.
Absolutely. Yeah, when they were written down on paper, when A.J. Hinch told us who the 1 through 5 were going to be, we said, hey, these guys got a chance to be really good. They go out there and perform up to their standards that we've seen them pitch in their pasts. But we are seeing them pitch beyond anybody's expectations.
Good to see Ken Giles out there. He had a little bit of a back issue his last series against Seattle Mariners. Trace Thompson, just acquired by the White Sox, is the hitter as he took over for Abisail Garcia.
Related to Golden State Warrior, Clay Thompson. I've actually been able to hang out with Trace a little bit back in Southern California. I used to give instruction at a batting cage out in Southern California. Trace and Nolan Arenado were workout buddies, but a tremendous talent. He is a large human also, but very athletic. He's just waiting for an opportunity to go out there and prove his worth on the baseball field.
Giles gets him to pop up for the first out. This is just a case for Giles coming back off that little tightness in his back to get an inning. Obviously, you would not see him in a normal circumstance pitching a 10-0 game. AJ trying to get him an inning here, and probably see him in a higher leverage situation his next time out. Now facing Jose Abreu. Abreu 1 for 3 with an infield hit. He hit a bullet off the glove of Alex Bregman. He's also lined out and grounded to third. Ball put a little dent in the advertising sign behind home plate. 0-5 rotation, Blummer.
Yeah, Minute Maid Park coming into play. That's why it's a good comp. Also, this rotation propelled the Astros into that World Series. You got 3 guys right here going 200+ innings. That's what we're talking about being healthy and getting 30+ starts. And that's pitching deep in ball games to get up over 200 innings these days.
Ball in the center field. Abreu got under it a bit. Jake Marisnick is there for the second out. Now the Astros 1 out away from putting this first game of the series to rest as they lead at 10-0 in the bottom half of the 9th inning. The starting rotation the last 3 games. Eric Cole went 7 innings, did not allow an earned run. Charlie Morton went 7 innings, did not allow a run. Justin Verlander 6 innings, does not allow a run. 20 innings without allowing an earned run the last 3 starts. You have to go all the way back to the Robinson Cano home run, the first inning against Lance McCullers. The last earned run charged to an Astro starter, and that was the only hit Lance allowed in 7 innings. 26 consecutive innings of no earned run baseball from the starting staff. And Ken Giles is going to wrap up the Astros' 3rd shutout of the year. It is a combined shutout with 4 pitchers: Justin Verlander, Joe Smith, Colin McHugh, and Ken Giles, as the Astros bullpen retires the last 9 in succession to close out this 2-hit masterpiece. The Astros win the opener in Chicago by the final score of 10-0. We'll have plenty more with the postgame show live from Guaranteed Rate Field. Julia Morales and our newest Astros broadcaster, Preston Wilson, will have the postgame show right around the corner.